Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Pran, and you guys are watching my Learn the Basics tutorial. This video, I'm going to be covering the ages, and so what I mean by that is I'm selected two maps, Black Forest and Arabia. These are two completely different playstyles. Like, you play the maps so differently compared to each other. So I thought that I'd go through the Dark Age, the Feudal Age, the Castle Age, and the Imperial Age in both of these maps, and try and tell you and show you what to actually do in these, because, like I said, the playstyle is completely different from one to the other. So yeah. Now, before I actually start, I just want to say one thing, and that is, I think the most important age out of all of them is the Dark Age, because in the Dark Age, it is like your foundation for the rest of the game. So if you have a really bad Dark Age, then you're at a disadvantage throughout the rest of the game, whereas if you have a really good Dark Age, then you're at a very good advantage for the rest of the game. Think of it sort of like the foundations of a building, even though that's a weird terminology, but if you have a strong foundation, then the rest of your building's going to be good. If you have a weak foundation, then the rest of your building's going to be crap. So that's pretty much the analogy I'm going to start off with. Alright, so first up we are going to be doing Arabia, and Arabia, it varies on what you should do in the Dark Age depending on how many people you're playing with. Say in a 1v1, you want to get up to the Feudal Age as fast as possible so that you can get an army out and start attacking your opponent. In a 2v2, you want to do the exact same thing, because there's only two of you, you each have a opponent to verse. In a 3v3, however, the person that's in the middle, they want to get up to the Castle Age as fast as possible, whereas the two people on either side want to get up to the Feudal Age as fast as possible. And in a 4v4, the two people in the middle want to get up to the Castle Age as fast as possible, and the two people on the outside want to get up to the Feudal Age as fast as possible. The reason behind this, guys, is because the people on the outside, or flanks, as I will go over in my next video, they only have a very short distance to cover. Same thing in a 1v1 and a 2v2. You're not going across, like, from the top of the map to the bottom of the map. You're usually going maybe a quarter of the map at most. And this means that if you start getting attacked, you can easily pull your units back and you can bring them forward. And your units also don't have a long way to traverse. Whereas if you're in the middle, your units essentially have to go all the way down and then all the way back up. And so it's actually better if you get to the Castle Age faster, because that means that you can get faster units, you can get stronger units, and you're going to help out your teammates a lot more. Alright, so once you're in the Feudal Age, we're going to go, I'm going to say, for a 1v1 and a 2v2 at the moment. So these are going to be the flanks, what to do in the Feudal Age. What they want to do in the Feudal Age is, obviously, they want to get an army up so they can start attacking their opponent or harassing their opponent. Because A, you can easily get across to your opponent, and B, the map's a lot more open, so you're able to move your units around and, you know, get into little spots where your opponent might not know and kill a villager. Because any man of harassment, and harassment doesn't have to be killing anything, it just has to be getting them off resources, and that quote is from Barbecue Turkman. So yeah, that's what you do in the Feudal Age if you're on the flanks. In the Feudal Age, if you are in a middle or pocket, as we call them, what they want to do is they want to get up to the Castle Age as fast as possible. This means that you want to get up to the Feudal Age later than the people on the flanks do, because this means that you get more gathering time in the Dark Age, which ultimately gives you a fast castle time. Alright, so the Castle Age is the age where a lot of action happens, you can say. So in the Castle Age, you want to do two things. You want to be A, booming, which means grow your economy up. So add more town centers in, add more farms, and put more people on gold mines, forests, lumber, you know, etc. like that. So you want to be booming, growing your economy, as well as attacking your opponents. Because if you don't attack your opponent in the Castle Age, then you're just going to get destroyed, essentially, because they will have an army and they will be coming in to attack you. Right. And finally, the Imperial Age. The Imperial Age is just going to be the age where you're pretty much spamming units against each other until one of you die. Usually in a 4v4, you will 4v4, 3v3, 2v2. You can set up markets in which you can send trade carts to and from, so that you can constantly, they pretty much give you gold. So that's how you keep getting gold in Imperial Age. And yeah, you Imperial Age is essentially you should have your economy set up well, so like you should be able to keep producing units. You shouldn't ever actually need to put any more villages on anything unless you get raided or your town gets destroyed or something like that. But you should theoretically already have all your economy set up. So yeah, next up we're going to be going on to Black Forest. Alright, so once again, the Dark Age in Black Forest is the foundation of the rest of the game, as I said earlier. The Dark Age is the most important age in my own opinion, because if you don't do well in the Dark Age, then you're going to be behind for the rest of the game. And sure, you can make that up by playing exceptionally well for the rest of the game, but it just makes your job that much harder. So this is why I can't stress enough that your Dark Age is your most important age. Alright, so no matter the number of people you have in Black Forest, whether it be a 1v1, a 2v2, a 3v3, or 4v4, what you want to do is get up to the Castle Age as fast as possible. And you're able to do this because you only have a couple narrow passageways in which you can be attacked. It's one or two, and it just depends really. You can get a opener mounts, but that doesn't happen that often. So yeah, your general rule of thumb is get up to the Castle Age as fast as possible, no matter where you are, if you're a pocket or if you're a flank, it doesn't matter. Get up to the Castle Age as fast as possible. And this usually entails going up to the Feudal Age at around 12:30 or 13 minutes, depending on how well you're dark. Alright, so once you reach the Castle Age, what you want to do is you want to boom, which is to grow your economy. And what booming entails is making more TCs so you can get more villagers out, and more villagers you get out, the more resources you can gather, so the more town centers you can put down. So then in the Imperial Age, you can actually have an army to attack your opponent with, because what happens in Black Forest usually is there's a narrow passageway, and you'll be spamming units until you get up that narrow passageway, and then you'll be spamming units while you're out of that narrow passageway, because you'll be fighting two opponents usually in that one narrow passageway. So Black Forest usually is a fairly lengthy game, just because of that one reason that you are both spamming a lot of units into a tight area. Okay, so now then, in the Imperial Age, it's pretty much exactly the same as Arabia, except instead of spamming units in an open map, you're spamming units into a narrow corridor, and you're going to keep spamming units until you eventually get through that narrow passageway and into your opponent's base. And once you do that, you essentially kill them. That's what you do in the Imperial Age. You shouldn't really be making any more villages unless your town gets destroyed or you lose villages or something, but you shouldn't ever really need to be making any more villages, because you should already have a good solid economy from the Castle Age. Alright guys, thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for some gameplay that I'm going to be covering of our in-house tournament titled Lord of 2v2 Random Map. And we have our grand final coming up, which is between FR Training and Genie versus Jat and Spritepop. And that is supposed to happen sometime soon, I hope, so I can record it. Don't forget to drop a like if you like it so much that you want to put it into that favorites folder thing. Then put it into that favorites folder thing, because favorite, yeah. Don't forget to subscribe up the. I'm pointing with my hands and you can't see that, but up the top somewhere or down. I don't know where the subscribe button is anymore. So yeah, see you in the next one, guys. Where I'm going to be doing word terminology. What great fun.